Here at E-FWD, we welcome with open arms business leaders who are passionate about helping the UK energy supply chain move, scale, grow fast. So today, Steve Johnson's with me from PARATUS Commercial Services. Steve, you've spent 2 decades turbocharging supply chain businesses. We've had an election, we've got a new government. Today and tomorrow you're going to be doing exactly that. Give us a temperature test. What challenges are your clients facing today?
Mainly cash flow, commitment and resources. The cash flow is the money's just not coming in quick enough to allow them to invest, mainly from the customers. The resources are people, they're trying to get the right people to deliver, and it's just coming together.
And what's the dynamic like in that supply chain today? Because supply chains is one of those things that sound bitten to high hell. We've got to fix supply chains are broken. But how are the players in those supply chains treating each other?
It's mixed. I think the big problem is that there are a lot of companies, and it's probably a bit cliche-ish, but they're not treating their suppliers as they would like to be treated by their customers. And part of what we do is to look at the landscape that they're operating in and just focus on the stuff that they're good at.
And how much do you feel the windfall taxation policy from the Labour government is playing a part in generating this uncertainty and slowdown in decision making in the energy supply chain?
It's causing quite a problem because the customers that are paying those windfall taxes are having to report to larger parts of their organisation. Stakeholders might be in other parts of the world saying that's really expensive or that's really difficult in the UK. Why do we need to concentrate our finances in the UK when we've got other parts of the world that we can operate in? And that is then pausing projects. So there are a number of suppliers now who have recruited people in the last year or two. They've started to spend money with their suppliers in the last year or two in anticipation of the work that's about to be done this summer and next year. Those projects are being put on hold due to the uncertainty, and that's then created this hiatus in the supply chain where we have people with no work to do and resources that are now tied up.
The name of your company, PARATUS, means ready. Do you think that the UK is ready for energy transition?
I think it's capable, but it's not ready. And the reason it's not ready is because of the uncertainty that exists. And part of the work that I do with engineering businesses and startups and larger organisations is looking at what can you do? Do you have the resources? Do you know what you're trying to achieve? And do you have the right training? Do you have the right capabilities within the business to actually go to your customer market and say, I can do this for you. Are you interested? Will you spend your money? And they'll say, how are you going to do it? And it's enabling them to give that message to their clients to show that that is the right product or service for them to be buying.
Absolutely. And Steve, you've been a very vocal participant in the E-FWD sessions that we've had so far, in the tents. What's your experience of E-FWD so far as a community?
I think it's really good because it allows people to have a discussion, and we talk about Chatham House rules in meetings. But I've also been in meetings as 20, 30 years within the supply chain function, within large organisations, operators, service companies and small businesses. There's this fear, and I think it is a fear of speaking your mind in front of your customers and in front of your suppliers, where the work that E-FWD does allows you to be able to have that conversation informally, formally, so you get the message across without it being, I don't want to upset a customer, or I don't want to give a supplier the wrong impression. So I like the work that E-FWD does to create that. It's an easier platform for true debate that needs to be discussed.
Well, I think, Steve, that you're going to see off the back of this plenty of messages into your inbox of people looking for your help. The last E-FWD event took place, I think, 3 weeks before a UK election, and the feedback we had from members was that somehow we'd managed to create an atmosphere and an event where politicians were talking soundbite free. Doesn't that sound great? Well, our next event is September the 19th in Edinburgh at the Assembly Rooms, and we're bringing together all the biggest hitters from private equity, banks, venture capital, politics and top to bottom of the UK energy supply chain to look at financing the energy transition. None of this is going to move unless some capital does. We'll see you all there. Steve, thanks for coming in today, and let's get ready for the 19th.